Granddaughter would eat all of them.
I eat all of them. That's why I shared them, and he was like, "These are for everybody." Cool. We don't need to stay under there unless we're writing, so we can enjoy the sun. I'm ready to strip the layer off. But cool. So a good body break, a good brain break, a good bio break. With the first half of the session over, where are we? Can I get a thermometer to see how you're doing? Sweet.
I'm too close to Sarah.
I was going to say, yeah, we're too close.
In terms of the curriculum, the material that we've thrown at you, the material you already have, where are you on that? Do you have any questions that you've been like, I want to ask this, we're moving on topics?
All working for me.
Great. I'm hearing it in the conversation. I'm wondering if it's just a byproduct of talking with each other, or if you're actively starting to engage with the authority of how to talk to a visitor. How are we feeling about that? Okay, cool.
Always can use help when talking to visitors.
Totally. I mean, it's a never-ending process.
Yeah,
I have a 3-year-old.
I get hooked and I don't get hooked.
I have a 3-year-old. Every question I had for the doctor was like, well, every baby's different. And I was like, yeah, every visitor is different. Every single one of them. And just know that you don't have to have the answer. Like, one thing that I did a lot as a ranger was, that's a great question. Here's my business card. I will, if you write down your name on it, I will email you, or you can keep that and shoot me an email, and I will find the answer for you. You don't have to have the answer on site, which is always oh, good, thank you.
We've been practicing that for the last 6 weeks. This is our first time here, and we have people asked us about a certain trail or a certain place, and if we have not already experienced that, we have to say, okay, we need to let you, if we're at Paradise, the rangers inside can help you much better than I can. I'm still learning. However, this is what I know.
Yeah, and that's perfect. You're building that rapport with them by being like, let's figure it out together. I don't know. I'll get back to you. And then you can, when you do follow up, you're like, hey, here's that answer. I hope the rest of your trip went really well. Here's a photo that I took. I have so many people send me photos, and I still talk to the dude from 2009 in the sold out. I'm like, hey, Fred, it's good to see you again. You're doing the same trip that we did together, but you do it every year. So, cool. I'm glad that we're all feeling good with the material. We're gonna start getting a little deeper into the transition from the basic front loading and learning of Leave No Trace into, all right, let's figure out how to articulate this to the visitors.
So we did what are the principles, we did where do we see them in the park, and then we did why are they important, or what impact does upholding the principle have or violating the principle. All scaffolding for what we hope that you'll be able to, oh no, it's going to go again.
We'll just leave it, we'll get it at the end.
For what we hope you will be able to tell park goers. So what we're going to do now is have you get into your new shuffled up groups. Do your best to divide yourselves up. And thank you. And what we're going to have you start with is just looking at the five sort of main ideas for authority of the resource, and talk about what is going to be most important to communicate to park goers. And then this is where I do recommend using the pens and papers and start writing those things down. Because the thing we're going to do after that is we're going to give you all in your groups some scenarios, and you're going to write how you would respond to someone in that scenario. And then we're going to level up, and we're going to enact some scenarios. Have you respond as you would in real life. As you're doing this, I think one thing that's important to keep in mind and just keep reminding yourself, keep trying out, is building that empathy for park goers who are the ones that we will be addressing, and so make sure that you keep coming back in your group to, like, why is somebody doing this? What is going to, what is motivating someone to do this? And that should help you be able to address those other things, those 5 big ideas for authority of the resource. Any questions about what we're going to do with our this last section of the program today? All right. Cool. So go ahead and shuffle into your 4 groups right now. You are welcome to work in the sunshine. I'd recommend grabbing pens and papers, and the whiteboards would be good hard surfaces to write on. There's also really cute mini clipboards that Mo brought.
They are mini, so if you're going to use a clipboard, maybe fold your paper in half.
Yeah. So grab what you need, and then you're welcome to work anywhere: sunshine, shade, wherever you feel most comfortable. We'll give everyone about 8 minutes to talk about communication, and then we'll bring you some scenarios.
It's up to you. Stay out.
I've been part of the Mountaineers program forever, so to me, the 10 essentials is paramount. I carry a pack that's much bigger than it should be for a day outing because I've got stuff.
We are doing
If you don't have it, you can't use it.
travel on durables.
So I carry a lot more.
You're doing lobster.
Well, I would argue,
Well, that's my involvement with the park, yeah. Paradise Winter stuff.
so you would know the most about this, I would argue.
Okay. Well, yes, to travel on
communication
a That's right. Staying on the trail. Yes. Yes. Got it. All
That's
right,
pretty
thank
much
you.
what this is, yeah.
Thank you for meeting me where I am.
Yeah, you are the number 1 person that knows about this. So we're here to learn from you.
Oh.
What are communications that you have with folks out on trail when you see someone that is maybe not in a meadow, but you know how we kind of have like off
The social trails, yes.
Yeah. So
Right.
when you see someone walking on those, what would you address them?
Yeah, I just had one yesterday. I was coming down Golden Gate, downhill Golden Gate, toward back toward the skyline, and there was a guy walking parallel to me. Maybe, I don't know, 30 yards away, and it just looked odd. At first I thought, is he on a trail that I just don't know? But then I looked at, like, I kind of mentally remembered the Paradise map. There was no trail really close to Golden Gate, right? It's kind of cutting in the middle, right? So I just got his attention, and I said, "Sir, are you on a trail?" Because I didn't want to assume he was. Maybe I was wrong. And he said, "Yeah, I think I'm on a trail." But I just kind of thought about it again. I said, I think it's very likely that you are on what we call a social trail, or that is not the real trail. It's a trail made by other people, and this is the trail where I was. Right. Now he was 20, 30 yards away, so it didn't feel comfortable at first because I'm not really shouting, but I am using a raised voice to
Calling
hear
him
it.
from afar.
Right. So he did come, and so then I just talked to him about social trails and how important it is to stay on the trail, and he seemed okay with it. And I thanked him, and he kept going. He was going uphill, and I was going downhill. So that was my most recent.
That's perfect. So
Something that I would work into that. So have you heard like messaging that we've been trying to get through about social scars? So calling them scars instead of trails.
I've heard that reference to them. I did not use that word yesterday.
Yeah,
Okay.
so when you chat with people and you're like, oh, have you ever heard of a social scar? Scar has like negative connotation,
Yes.
right? So something that is there now that might have not been there before due to some kind of resource damage, right? And so chatting with folks and saying
It'll be
like,
a bright sunny day. And
this is here and I understand why you thought it was a trail. So many people have walked on it.
pretty fast.
They might have all thought it was a trail as well. And now it looks like this. and really it should be a meadow, or really it should be X, Y, and Z vegetation.
Right. There used to be flowers there.
Exactly. There used to be flowers here, and then you go into, like, imagine if all of us picked a flower that we liked, or imagine if all of us walked a little bit to the right of this social scar, and little by little by little, we would be left with nothing. I just don't know how to bring it back to not being so, like,
Negative.
big picture.
But I like that, using the word scar. I've heard that reference to it, and you're right, because a social trail sounds cool and
fun,
something
like, oh.
that people want to do, and it doesn't get the message across. So I like that.
Yeah.
And I will say, I do enjoy that literally what we were mentioning, giving the visitor the benefit of the doubt. So you didn't assume that they were doing something wrong. You didn't assume that, like, you knew everything. You assumed that, he might know something that I don't know. So let me ask him. Let me ask him what is going on. So already, benefit of the doubt, check.
Okay.
Then you went ahead and it kind of goes into authority of the resource. So you went ahead and explained what a social trail was, why, the action that he is taking and how it is impacting the resource. And then you went ahead and offered an alternative, which is, this is actually the trail right here. And if you just come take a few steps over, you will then be doing everything correctly and will be able to recreate responsibly. So I think that was a really literally perfect to the T approach that can apply pretty much anywhere. For me, I work at a campground, so camping on durable surfaces for me looks like the campsite that I booked is actually not as big as I wanted, and it's not as far away from people as I wanted. So I'm actually going to go ahead and bushwhack. I'm going to shave off some of the foliage back here behind me, make it a little bigger.
I am owed this.
Like, what?
This is my right.
Right. So just really explaining to people, if you're making rounds around a campsite, we don't want to do that. We don't want to use the resource we're trying to enjoy. I'm just offering, maybe I know the campsite isn't big, but if you actually go on trail, there's a really nice long trail where you'll get to explore the outdoors just like you like, and X, Y, and Z, and kind of go down the line like that. Is there anything that you can think of that? I know that your job is a little different, but you're on trail sometimes and stuff like that.
I do spend a good amount of time on trail, and definitely seeing people either walking off trail. For me, I don't see as much of folks being like 50 yards out in the meadow necessarily. It's more of folks are just like taking like 2, 3, 4 steps off the trail to like get a better picture or something like that. And it's like, hey, I understand that like you're trying to take a picture and everything, and you're just like, you're not going that far off, but you are still impacting the resource. So if you can just like come back on the trail, I promise the picture looks exactly the same. Your phone can zoom the distance,
If you keep going on this trail, there will also actually be an even better view. So you just want to keep going, and I promise you will still get that picture you want.
And that's what I say a lot of times too. It's like, if you're looking for like that perfect picture, like it's actually just a little bit further up. You don't even need to stop right here. You can just like keep going.
Something to note, so Mount Rainier, I believe, was the first park with like a master plan in terms of like viewpoints and having areas that are really nice and scenery. And so, so something that you could offer up is like, a really cool piece of history about Mount Rainier is that it was actually designed for you to have the best experience. And so if you follow the trail that you're supposed to be on, you will get to that wow factor, that wow point. Matthew, question for you. When you're out on like SARS and stuff, like, do you ever run into problems with folks like maybe trying to get out of your way so they step off?
You know that.
You need to remind people to stay on the trail, because if they go off trail, they can fall off a cliff. Hello.
That is a really good point. So both of y'all kind of brought up like 2 different ones. Like,
sorry.
We'll start with yours of folks trying to like get out of our way, which is like awesome because like we're trying to get somewhere, so like they want to like pull over and yield to us on a trail, but then they're like, oh, let me step like all the way off trail. And it's like, yeah, that's great, like thank you for pulling over, but also at the same time, please don't stop on the like kind of deal. And that sort of thing. And then for you, it's also just what you said. It's like we're already responding to somebody else. Please do not make us respond to a second person. Please do not fall off this trail right behind you.
But like another thing of just bringing it back to your experience, if you did have to talk about staying on trail with someone, and you were like, what do you mean? What does that even mean? You being like, well, if you were to, in fact, take a few steps off to your right and you're on a cliff's edge, like that could potentially have really grave,
there are, like up on Sourdough Ridge at sunrise, there are several lookout points kind of up there that have pretty dramatic drop-offs, and there's no kind of like railing or anything like that, but folks will always want to get close to that edge.
Just an inch
you know,
more, and it's
get closer and closer to the edge to take a selfie or take a picture or something. But you know, like even this morning, what the SAR that Don was driving the ambulance for was from a group of people that were too close to the edge and took a selfie, and somebody fell off, you know. And so it's something that happens all the time. You know, it's pretty frequent that folks will get so wrapped up in wanting to take the perfect picture that they wind up injuring themselves or something traumatic happens, that sort of thing.
Well, so then I guess there's like two ways to go about it, right? There's staying on durable surfaces, staying on trails to protect yourself, but then there's also to protect the landscape, the environment, the wilderness. So I guess it's our job to kind of gauge, you know, when you're interacting with folks, how are you going to approach that? So Hannah, do you have any recommendations for how to gauge how we would approach that with folks? Like, do you go...
I mean, and like the way...
What factors go into deciding how to expand on these
You got
topics?
your approach down.
Well, no, there's always something to learn.
Yeah.
There's always something to learn, but I assume that
So I don't have any particular yes, this is
my
a
name's
framework
Kevin.
I know that you
I'm a part. I'm
apply
a
here.
title.
But
I do that.
one is like your safety, of course. Like that always comes to mind first, and that's like emotional, otherwise as well. Two is like you don't need to take any more time then you feel like you'll need to get someone to stop doing the harmful behavior, but like still leave with with a positive like experience with it. So I think that those are like two goals that I think about. Like we want someone to stop doing the behavior that is harmful, but like to not have a bad memory of when they were told to stop doing that behavior. If it only takes hey, like I see you out there, could you come back to the trail please? Like if that's all it takes, then that's fine. The follow-up is could be helpful, but it's not like it's not necessary or not required, I suppose. And then the last thing would be just who you're engaging with, and I think getting that feedback if you can, or is there anything else you need to know from me? Try and make myself available and open to that before just moving on. Otherwise, it might happen again.
It seems like it's hard. I've struggled with this. I'm first year, so I'm still learning a lot. But it seems like it's hard to strike that balance because for them to learn something, it can't just be, you're doing great, just don't do that. Right? I don't think that's human nature. It seems like it has to be a learning experience that's not exactly positive. Am I being clear? I'm not sure I'm being clear.
Yeah, it's weird to draw a line because when you're coming to someone with, hey, you're doing something wrong, it can be very easy to come off as condescending.
Yes.
And so...
And you're in uniform, and so that's,
exactly.
so that makes it even more likely that that's going to happen.
You just want to be genuine. Do you have something to add, Kevin?
We were talking about language earlier, and one of the things that I find that really helps is connecting to people's individual experience. People are up here in an unfamiliar environment, and I find that when you talk about not walking on the meadows, people are often a little bit confused because they see meadows as something that you go running through, singing and picnicking and that kind of thing. And so often what I will say is, can you please come out of the flower garden and onto the trail? And it gives people a different picture of what's out there. And oh yeah, a flower garden. You don't go walking through a flower garden because you trample the flowers. I think people connect with that a little bit better.
Yeah, that's
very
cool.
good.
I like that. Yeah, just the language shift there, like putting it in someone's own frame of reference. One thing that I was also curious about here is like with all your park visitors, like navigating some of the cultural differences, and I wonder if
language barriers. I'm encountering that all the time. Right.
That helps.
I think it can initially be negative because you're telling them that they're doing something wrong, but if you bring it back to authority of the resource, where it's like, I could care less if Joe is trampling flowers. I care about the flowers, and we care about the flowers. You're here to enjoy the flowers. We're all here to take this in. So really just being like, hey, so did you know that actually one step from a person can kill 50? What is it? What is this? What is it? So I don't misspeak.
My statistic is 10 to 15 steps create social trail.
Okay, so there you go. So all you need are 10 to 15 steps to create a social scar, and that then will teach or make people think that they can go down and create a whole new trail, and then it will create this and this impact. So it's not really specifically about you at all. It's really just, we really love these flowers, and we all want to enjoy them. So if we can just take a step back on trail, I have lots of other places where we can get a closer look at some flowers. Was there a specific species you were trying to check out, or a specific kind of thing you were trying to see? And then you're just like, it's not a big deal.
Right.
It's not a big deal at all.
And on a positive note.
Right. Like, you have to make it not a big deal because you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. Everyone's here just trying to enjoy the woods, right?
Yeah.
So I will say,
Send them onto the forest.
PCT.
Pacific Crest Trail.
Yep.
Well, I knew they could hike on the Pacific Crest Trail, but from here, where would that be? See, I can see
Towards Packwood.
Towards Packwood.
I'm on the east side, so I don't know anything on this side of the park, but I always say, White Pass has great hiking at it. You can go to the PCT.
I knew dogs were
I say
allowed
like
on the
Skookum
Pacific
Falls
Trail.
out towards Greenwater.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good suggestion.
Educate, talk about,
Where the dog can be.
talk
Pacific
about trail
Crest-
damage.
Yeah, we're having fun.
You are hiking along the trail.
Trail damage, wildlife.
I think it's not.
Disturbs the whole ecosystem of the park.
One is posing out in the flowers about 30 feet off of the trail.
This is amazing.
Other is just stepping off the
Gosh.
trail to get a better angle with
I always thought I was going to spend my whole retirement just going from park to park, but I might just...
Hey, if it works.
I'll go visit your park. I'm coming back here. Where's home?
Where's home?
It takes between 2 and 4 hours, apparently, to get here from where home is.
Okay.
But yeah.
Plan ahead and prepare. It's springtime and you're in the Paradise parking lot, chatting with a beginner hiker who typically traverses flat terrain. They're equipped with enough water for a 3-mile hike, some snacks, and would like to do the Skyline Trail. They're in regular springtime apparel, but the trail is 80% snow covered. They have trekking poles.
This is definitely a scenario that happened every single
All the
day.
time, yeah. I think we were talking about some of these.
Well, and we have to go through the whole, what our approach is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the scenario that we're getting put in. It's funny because a lot of visitors that would come into the Ohana Prakash Visitor Center, they'd be like, hey, I'm heading to Paradise. I'm going to do the Skyline Trail. And I'd be like, oh, okay, it's completely covered in snow. And they'd be like, oh, okay, I just have tennis shoes and poles. And I'm like, okay, well, they don't recommend that you do that trail.
You might want to think about another trail.
crampons. And they're like, oh, Okay. So I mean, typically if you put it in that like frame that they might be in danger, they might die, they might need rescuing, and that we don't recommend doing that with the equipment and gear they have. And one of the things that we talk about also is, okay, do you have expert winter navigational skills? This is required to be able to do this trail in these conditions. And they go, oh my gosh, no. And they're like, okay, do you have any other recommendations? And then recommend different things for them that might match what their capability is.
Sure.
So that's usually how I approach those situations and go through that. And typically visitors aren't too adamant about doing something if you frame it in the way that what they are going to do is going to be dangerous.
Their
They
safety
might,
is
exactly.
right.
If you're, you might not be safe doing this, and then give them other recommendations according to their skill set.
Yeah, I mean, just starting to have a conversation, where you're going, and all that kind of stuff. Try to look over what kind of boots they had. They said they had poles, and what was the thing about the water?
Good enough for a 3-mile hike.
3-mile hike.
But they wanted to do the Skyline Trail in
Which
all
is-
its entirety.
Yeah, that's 5.5.
And
Yeah.
they have.
They had poles, but it was 80% snow.
And on top of that, they were only used to doing trails that were flat. That would be it. So the Skyline Trail has a lot of elevation change and gain to take into account as well that they're not going to be prepared for, especially if they don't have
1,700 feet of gain.
Doesn't talk about weather, which is a little unfortunate because it does say that they're in regular springtime apparel. But
that means what?
Is
Short
it-
sleeve
the weather
shirt?
can change. So that means you have to have extra layers.
In my context, does that mean I would use my radio to radio my coordinator, Marlene,
I think you would
560?
get on your radio and you'd say, VIP holiday.
Holiday, right.
Yeah, so VIP holiday, or Meta Rovers to VIP holiday. I'm on Golden Gate right now. Is anyone passing through this area of the trails in the next 30 minutes?
Yep, got it.
A rover would get on and say, hey,
I'm actually going to be there.
Yeah, that actually happened yesterday on Golden Gate. Right.
Exactly, yeah.
It wasn't a photo shoot, but it was a similar scenario. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you'd
Yeah.
have that follow up, and then
Yeah.
if they're like, hey, yeah, I see these people, I chatted with them, they were off trail again in the meadows, and it's like, okay, well, maybe we have someone, even a ranger, just a ranger like in the green and gray, come chat with them and say like, we've already had 2 folks come out and speak with you.
Right.
We see that this isn't really getting through. Like, is there anything specific that you're looking for? Is there something that you're wanting to accomplish? Like, how can we help you meet that goal without damaging the resource? You know? And then if that doesn't work, that's
Yeah, right. You escalate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. The fun thing is that national parks is the first place in which we put a higher priority for the resource than we do the visitor. So our goal is to always protect the resource. Obviously not at the expense of visitor safety.
Right.
But that's a fun thing to be like, oh yeah, that is how we operate. At least in the 2 parks that I was at. That's what was given to me. I assume it's a nationwide policy. But one thing that I will pop in and say is it depends on how far off the person is from the main trail. Like, is this the trail and Hannah is off trail? Then I wouldn't go out there. I'd be like, hey, can you come join me on the trail really quick? But obviously, if you're in a situation in which they're like way over at the bathroom, I'm gonna go out and contact them. So just to put it in context, that you don't need to like stand side by side and build that rapport with them, which the authority of the agency and the authority of the resource, as we talked earlier, you don't need to do that for certain situations. You should do it for as many as you can. But
Right.
Hey Hannah, can you come over here on the trail with me? I just want to talk to you about a thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Things like that. Instead of like, hey,
Yeah.
walk back to me. Context is everything.
We also tend to use like a lot of hand motions. Like if someone's far out, instead of yelling at them, you just like wave to like come.
Come. Right. Got it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can whistle super loud, but I don't have to do like my mom finger. I can just go. People hate being whistled at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
'Cause they get back like, I'm not a dog. I'm like, it worked though.
But here you are.
Yeah. So I have stopped whistling at people.
That is fair. That is good. Yeah. And something that I really like is, so yes, asking them to come join you, but if they're not where they're supposed to be, like going out to them and then coming back with them, like instead of being like, hey, you're not supposed to do this, get back. It's like walking with them, chatting with them, having some kind of discourse to be able to learn about why they're here, what their intentions
Just
are.
really engage with them.
Yeah.
I find that happens a lot with dogs on trail. So dogs, my favorite is really, because I'm also trying to pet some dogs. So when I see dogs on trail, I'm like, hi you guys, how are you doing today? Cutest pupper I've ever seen. Can I please pet it? And if it is if it's a service animal, they will not let me pet their dog. If it is not a service animal, they're like, yeah, go touch it. And so I'll give them a good pet, I'll give them a good rub. I have a good time. I'll hang out with them for like 5 minutes. But then I'm like, oh my gosh, although Max is so cute, I love Max, really. Max, unfortunately, is not allowed on trail because X, Y, and Z. There are some trails outside of the park that we can recommend. Alternatively, I can also offer some very, very short hikes. I don't know. And then I would essentially tell them, you know, I would be more than happy to walk back with you with Max to your car. We can just start heading that way. And then it's kind of like, you are coming, we are getting off trail now.
Okay, got it.
You know? So that is my communication with the dog.
Very cool. That was actually the scenario I just gave them, so that's really cool. Nice way to appreciate that. I am here to deliver. So this was, so what we just gave you, and you're welcome to finish up thinking about that one. What we just gave you was sort of the practice round scenario. I am going to give you a scenario that you will act out for another group. They don't necessarily know which group has which scenario. And another group will also have a scenario for you all. So we're going to do, in a moment, we're going to switch to a bit of a scenario roulette, where we'll call up each group, start acting out the scenario, and the group with the corresponding principal will jump up, try out their communication on you.
Oh, I see.
So I'm going to give you a scenario for another group. There should be some opportunities to prepare for this one in particular. There's kids involved, so you can decide which one of you are the children.
All right. Sounds good.
Wave if you have any questions, and we'll switch to that in maybe another like 5 or 6 minutes.
Thanks. Shall I read this one aloud
Yes,
for us?
please.
Okay. So this one is Respect Wildlife. Okay. So you were park visitors in a picnic area and you have discovered a delightfully friendly pair of chipmunks near your table. You're a family with young children and you want your children to like the chipmunks too. You start tossing nuts from your trail mix to the chipmunks who are coming closer and closer. That's it. That's all we've got.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't actually know if we're supposed to be, we're the family? Okay, gotcha.
So then somebody else will come up and contact us.
Oh, I see. And then vice versa, right? We'll be approached.
Yeah.
We'll have to watch a scenario and
react.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who wants to be the kids?
I'll be the kid.
Okay.
I'll be the kid with you.
Okay.
Okay. So what is that one of mine then? Parents. Okay.
Or the chipmunk.
Oh.
I'll be a parent.
Hello, we are a group of latecomers to the park with some moderate gear, and we're used to coastal hikes. We want to do blah. And then maybe the other group with the ranger side will be like, that's us. And then you can start role playing.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. Okay.
So let's just say it's that individual person is 1, 2, 3, 4 of you.
Okay. Do you want to do the thing?
You're like, you got track poles and you have great boots.
I don't want to do the whole thing.
Okay.
I'll start off like we said. We
Okay.
each say something.
I'll say that we hike fast.
Right. I'll start off. Oh, I love hiking in the Adirondacks in New York, where I'm from, and I'm used to hiking, and I'm really looking forward to hiking Mount Rainier.
Perfect.
Take about 3 more minutes.
Because this activity is intended to,
maybe 2 more minutes.
for both
Once you're
sides, the
ready,
people who are
you're going to
responding
make
and the people who are getting responded to
this area
to
the
figure out
stage
how to
and this
contact the
area
visitor,
the
figure out
audience.
the behavior that they should change, and then start getting that compliance through education and rapport. So if you want to be kind of combative, sure.
I love being combative.
It's fun. It also throws a they're like, this isn't easy.
Why I would.
I'm helping people down because
I did a scenario on a trainer course in the North Cascades where I was the bad behavior. I was collecting rocks. And they're like, I saw you put that in your pocket. And I was like, no, you didn't.
No.
I just flat out denied it the whole time.
I think we could be pretty.
I've met that person.
We all have.
I think if this were like a real life scenario, the thing that people always talk about isn't necessarily the fear, but they're like, you know how fast I can hike. Like I told you it's fine.
It's 6 p.m. It's only 3 miles one way.
And well, if all else fails, I'll just put on my headlamp.
I think the other problem is, at the signposts at some of the trailheads,
2
they
minutes.
give an estimated hiking time. And I think some of those, the people think, okay, no matter what their ability, they think they're going to do that hike in 3 hours or 4 hours. And I try to dissuade them. I say, well, that's a very ballpark estimate. It's like, it's going to depend upon how many photographs you take. It's going to depend upon how fit you are. And so please, give yourself enough time, especially if they're starting. Like, it was 4:30 yesterday, and there's people trying to go do the entire skyline, or there was somebody who was trying to go to Camp Muir, for God's sake. So I'm like, really, that's just probably not going to happen. Can you spend another day, to do this? It would be really better to have a fresh start in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we practice?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy to be in the Pacific Northwest at Mount Rainier.
Oh, I could say the beginning thing just so they know exactly that it's like for them. I
Okay,
could say,
go.
oh, we're a group of hikers from the East Coast. And we're looking for a hike to do, but it's at the end of the day.
We'll gather over scenario roulette. So we will, I'll call each group up one by one, and you will get to start acting out your scenario. When you recognize that the corresponding principle, if you're the group with the corresponding principle, when you recognize it, you are welcome to take like a minute to prepare before jumping into it. That's something that you might want to do anyway, right? If you encountered the scenario in real life. Same thing with like wilderness medicine, right? We want to size up the scene before we rush into it. So you're welcome to take like a moment to size up the scene as a group, and then we will give you, let's say 3 minutes. 3 minutes is a long time to spend with someone, right? We saw our demo with Kevin and Mo earlier. That was way less than 3 minutes. We'll give you about 3 minutes to address the scenario with your people. If you are an actor, respond as you would. And then after each one, we'll have a chance to debrief as a whole group and talk about what we saw, some things we worked well, or some things that we think worked well, some other things to try for the future. Sounds good?
Cool.
Any questions? All right.
You're ready.
Cool. We will have our wildlife group step on up first. Right, and then step on up to the stage. Yeah.
That's the stage, right?
Break a leg.
Whoa, which one?
Sarah's.
I've already had my time in the ambulance.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are a group hiking, coming to Mount Rainier. We're looking to do a hike, but it's the evening, and
Red flag.
and yeah, but we're not familiar with the area that well, but we still want to go on a hike really bad. So.
Oh, this is our first time in the Pacific Northwest. I'm so excited, even though it's a little bit late, that we can get out on a trail here at Mount Rainier. But we're very experienced. Aren't you experienced from the East Coast hiking?
Lots of hiking on the East Coast.
Okay, so what trail do you think we could do at this hour?
I think we could do the Reflection Lakes Trail. We're pretty fast hikers, so I don't think it matters how late it is. We'll be able
And we're gonna go light.
Yeah.
I've got my Tevas, I got my Cliff Bars, and I got my poles. We're gonna go light.
We're ready to go.
Yeah, I'll see what the problem is.
Alright. Who wants to go address that?
That would be us.
Oh, here comes Rick Ranger.
Not a night hike. Not a night hike. We're just looking to do a hike. And it's evening time, and I think we'll finish before it's dark out really fast.
We thought it was Reflection Lakes would be a good hike to do now.
Whereabouts are you visiting from?
Adirondacks.
Adirondack? So you're back east?
Yeah, we're from back east.
But you know, hiking is hiking, so.
But this is a little bit higher elevation, I would think, than Adirondack.
Oh, maybe a little, but we've got thousands of miles between us.
That's right. A lot of hiking.
All right. What kind of shoes do you have?
Tevas.
All right.
My toes are out.
And there's snow on this trail right now. Okay. So we would recommend that you have closed-toed shoes. Do you have boots?
Put socks on.
Socks will get wet from the snow and soak into your socks.
There's a polyester type that absorbs the sweat off your feet.
It won't act against moisture, like that's from water.
I always hike without boots on. This is just the way I hike, so.
So you could get hypothermia if your toes aren't properly covered.
What are you trying to, I mean, what kind of hike are you trying to do?
Reflection Lakes.
We're just trying to see the park.
But why Reflection?
Well, we thought that was the right distance for the amount of sunlight we've got left today, and the trail is nearby. The trail.
You have 1 more minute.
Could we offer something that's less snow in the same area, or?
Yeah, you're really not
out.
prepared well for the snow and the conditions. You should have some kind of traction device on your shoes to keep you from slipping, and so it would be advisable to not be on snow with the way you're equipped.
So what are you suggesting?
Something that's a little bit lower and doesn't have that's snow-free trail.
And
Maybe
so, do you have a
Rampart
trail
Ridge.
in mind? Do you have a trail in mind?
Yeah, maybe Rampart Ridge.
Yeah, down to Longmire, there's a couple of trails down there that would be more appropriate for how you're equipped.
We're already in Reflection.
Do I see the mountain on that trail?
Yeah, you can. There's one lookout place. Most of it's in the trees, though, to be honest.
Snaps for our group after, snacks for nice work. Excellent acting and swimming for everyone. All right, sweet. Let's talk about it. So group of responders, what did you see?
Unprepared hikers.
Typical park visitors.
It's the East Coast thing.
Also, a group of observers, you're also welcome to respond here. What did you all see?
Typical group of visitors. Yeah. I'm in my Tevas, in my Crocs.
Yeah.
What were some of the fine points that you're that jumped out at you? Oh.
Time of day.
It's a huge one.
Yeah.
They weren't prepared for snow.
We're overconfident.
Right.
Being overconfident sometimes.
And what's the to get a little bit more into that? What worries you about those things?
Even though you have some experience, you might not be prepared for a situation you're going to get yourself into. So it's always better to plan and prepare for any situation. But yeah, just because you've done some hikes other places, you don't know what the terrain is like here, other than what you've read online or read on a map. And unless you see it for yourself and experience it for yourself, you don't know what your limitations are going to be on that trail.
And to tie it back to leave no trace, what's the L&T concern here?
Lack of preparation.
which causes
Possible injury.
yeah, possible injury, search and rescue,
Resource damage if they don't end up walking over the snow.
What's the main verbatim principle that we're talking about here? Plan ahead and prepare.
All right, so
I'm glad we figured that out.
for people, for scenario people, what felt like it worked well for you? What was compelling to hear?
Say again.
What felt like it worked well? The responders did for you.
I guess the suggestion, my part was the suggestion of a different trail that might fit our gear and our people and time-wise.
Yeah.
A pretty realistic thing I feel like is us not knowing that there is snow on the trail at a time like this. So
Pretty realistic thing for me is having you did a great job of this, of having such a goal-oriented, like I got socks, Tevas, that's fine. No, they wick moisture. I'm just like, I'll make it work.
Yeah.
And like trying to sell, like, it won't work, sir. and then like offering that alternative, which is great. Like, here's something else that you do that won't get you in the snow, that will still get you a hike, that you won't need a search and rescue for.
you also asked like what our goal was, like, oh, what are you trying to get from, like, what are you trying to do right now? Just trying to see views or?
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the. Well, you were about to say something.
No,
Go
that's
ahead.
okay. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I've lost it.
Well, this is a scenario that I see and encounter just about every day sometimes. And so one of the best things that we can do in having this conversation is try to figure out what goals the group or the person, the party is trying to accomplish. Like, are you trying to see the mountain? Are you trying to see wildflowers? Excuse me. Like, what are you trying to see? What are you trying to do? If you're trying to go for a hike, how long are you trying to go? What is your party's physical fitness level, and where are you coming from? Because altitude change, like if somebody's like, well, I'm from Florida, and they're at Sunrise at 6,400 feet, and they're wanting to go up to the Burrows, they're gonna gain another like 500-600 feet, possibly more, that sort of thing. And it's like, okay, well, you just got off the plane today, you know, and you're in the park for a few days. How about you go over to the Silver Forest Trail? It's only 0.8 of a mile with no elevation change, and you get to see a great view of the mountain as well as the White River in the foreground and a beautiful turquoise lake with tons of wildflowers. How about you go and do that today and let your body acclimate to the environment and the altitude, that sort of thing. And then tomorrow, if you feel up to it, you can go out to Fremont, you can go out to the Burrows like you're wanting to do. And then also, they're like hiking on snow. Please don't do that. You know, trying to also gauge how much experience they have on snow travel. Like, oh, you have hiked like 100 miles of the PCT in like snow or whatever, and you have like crampons or ice micro spikes and poles, that sort of thing. Or are you doing it in your Tevas or Crocs, that sort of thing? Because a lot of times what happens, and what we've seen this year with the 40-year snow high as well as the late spring into summer, a lot of the snow will maybe be out on trail but not necessarily there at the trailhead. So folks will get to the trailhead and they're like, oh, the trail looks fine, but further up around the bend it's snow packed pretty much the rest of the way. And so it's like, hey, are you aware that there is snow on this trail? Are you prepared to walk on this trail, that sort of thing? And they're like, oh no, I'm not. And then like reroute them to something else. I think that was a good point that y'all made of not just pulling them off of the trail, but saying, what are you trying to see? Okay, and redirect them to somewhere else based on their kind of party's goals, that sort of
The
thing.
best thing about knowing what the person's goals is that you can positively give them something that will work better for them, as opposed to just telling them why their original plan doesn't work,
Yeah.
which is negative. People respond better to the positive approach.
Because if we're thinking about the psychology when we approach a group, what you're doing when you're questioning is you're building rapport.
Yeah.
And then we can continue down the needs of side by side and educating them and providing services, which is exactly what you did.
Yeah.
I would feel a whole lot better if he'd walked over here and stood next to me when he was telling me all of it.
Hey, sometimes it works because from the trailhead you can see parts of the trail up high there. So you can be like, yeah, the trail looks great here, but like, if you see that see that snowbank right there? That's a 300-foot drop. Yeah, you're going way the hell up. So even standing side by side in the parking lot does work.
Yeah.
Or if you pull out a map, you're like, see how these lines are really close together? It's covered in snow right now. Slip and slides are
80
fun in the
foot of
front.
elevation per line.
Yeah. It's like having those resources that you could just like whip out and like show the proof.
Also, sorry because I know we like don't want to extend too much, but the biggest red flag in all of this for me was the fact that it was like almost sundown, or it was like late into the evening. So as confident as you are, as prepared as you think you are, the environment completely changes in the nighttime. So it's also saying like, I'm so glad that you feel confident and ready to get out there. It is getting dark soon. Have y'all looked into what conditions are like here in the nighttime? You know, and signaling that even though you did prepare, even though you feel like you have planned and have all the things you need, are you factoring in that conditions here change rapidly?
Good point. And it's something that I missed, is that we should have asked, do you all have headlamps? Do you all have flashlights in case you're out after dark?
Like, I would hate if you slipped on that snowfield in your T-Buzz and there was no one around because it's nighttime, you know. Maybe if y'all tried tomorrow morning in the daytime when you have that confidence built, you thought about it a bit more and there are more people around to assist in the event that something were to go wrong.
So technically what Mo is saying, one thing that I would have also liked to see a little bit more of is especially with a group of very confident hikers, right? These are groups of hikers that they've built their systems, they think they've got it, they feel very confident with what they're doing, even though we know that they probably shouldn't and that they're in an environment that they're new to because they said that. So coming in and like really sharing like what you're concerned about works a lot better than telling them like, no, that's not going to work. You're not going to be able to do that. Because as we know, people like, especially when they're feeling like they're coming from a lot of experience, they're going to like push way back on that. Like your shoes aren't going to work for snow. Like, yes, they will.
I've done it before.
Yeah, I've done it before. So coming from a place of like, yeah, okay, I'm actually really concerned about the shoes that you're wearing. We've seen that like those are not going to have enough traction for the snow here. We have a very particular type of snow in the Pacific Northwest. It's actually very different than East Coast snow, so I know you might feel confident with that. I'm concerned about your safety here. And also like bringing it back to safety with that, I think can be really helpful. So just being like really open with like what you're concerned with and like so that again you're like sharing that with them rather than telling it to them. Yeah.
This makes me realize too, in my limited experience, usually they're not all of one mind about it. Groups I've encountered, they're divided.
Yeah.
So you might have an ally actually in the group. That's been my experience.
And that's
so
who you
far.
level with.
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, it's 6 p.m. Check in at campsite was 4 p.m. What are you doing?
Right. I told you so.
Well, let's rotate into the next group. Thank you again to our first group of park goers, senior volunteers. We will switch to our kind of prepare group. So we'll cycle you into.
And the first one always has the most debrief on it, so these next two are going to go faster.
Yeah.
All right.
Notes.
I'm going to set the stage here. This road is the trail. It's covered in snow. Okay. I'm a 70-year-old woman, by the way.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, let's let's see
There's
if
a lot
we
of
go
snow
on
over
the
here,
social-
but there's a really nice trail over
Yeah, let's-
here that's off of the snow. Let's go on that.
kind of slow.
Yeah. Let's stay off the snow over here. There's a nice track along this way.
Hey y'all, how are y'all doing today? So we're having a little bit of trouble with this snow patch.
Yeah.
Yeah, how are we feeling about this hike?
She's a little nervous about the snow.
We're over here because it's safer.
I see. Well, so
She's our 70-year-old mother, and we're her son.
wonderful family trip. I love to see it out on the mountain. It's a great place to spend time and community. So as you can see, yeah, a lot of people have also stepped off of the trail here to kind of, you know, mitigate with the snow.
We're off the trail here?
Yeah,
Looks like a trail.
Yeah, it looks like a trail to me.
Yeah, it looks like a trail, and this is what we would call a social scar. So when we think of scars, you know, do we have pleasant connotations with that? No.
No, but we're having a good time.
Yeah,
But it's not safe over there.
It's not safe over there. And so some people will come out on trail with all kinds of gear, right? So crazy boots and crazy poles, all kinds of things, even like little crampons that you can kind of like clip onto your shoe and kind of like, you know, over the snow. And so we really ask that people look up these trail conditions ahead of time, because although the snow patch is dangerous, it's really harmful to the landscape to be walking off the trail, even though it looks like lots of people have stepped here. It looks like this because all of the vegetation that used to be here is now damaged.
We had her on the snow. She could
Yeah.
fall down and break her hip or something. That's why we're over.
For sure. I agree, 100%. So what we'd ask is that you actually, if you feel uncomfortable with walking on trail, that y'all just turn around and head back the way you came.
Is there going to be more snow up ahead?
So yeah, there might be. I am not sure.
Start out to be snow.
Yeah, right.
You have one more
Nice
minute.
old trail.
Yeah, so a lot of the hikes here, they kind of go up in elevation, and the higher that you go up, the more you're going to see that snow. So what were you hoping to see today?
Just wanted views.
Just views? Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think, Mom?
I want to continue. This is my only time that I get to be here, and I'll never be able to return.
Definitely.
What do you suggest?
Yeah, well, there's so much to see here at Mount Rainier, right? And so what we can all agree on is that the mountain is incredible, and we can see it from so many different parts of the park. So do y'all have any suggestions for some different hikes that we could take today, heading back?
Yeah, so as you're kind of leaving this area and going back up here at sunrise, because we're at higher elevation here, there is going to be a lot of snow on just about all of the trails right now. And so the best thing you could do, because Mount Rainier was designed with a master plan to really be able to engage with the environment and see as much of the mountain as possible. There are lots of pullovers and viewpoints that you'll be able to access and see the mountain and see tons of views without having to maybe endanger yourself and get out on a trail. And I know busting a hip is great, but in this instance, it's not the best thing.
I think it would always be good to give Mom a trekking pole. It's going to help her so much on all your hikes.
And see.
Well, we'll think about that next time. We're out here now.
Great job.
Great work. Snaps for the group of visitors and snaps for the responders. Yay. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was great. Mo pretty much
Sorry.
did everything. No, it was fine. No, don't be sorry about it. You were just on a roll. You were on a roll, and then you were like thing after thing after thing. So that was really good, Mo. Good job.
My mom is super offended at how fragile you are.
I just had knee surgery, okay?
Double knee replacement.
I'm super offended. I can hear her from here.
Oh my god, it would be.
How did that go for the story people? Like, what were some of the behaviors you were trying to get across?
That was the only alternative to doing that hike for us, because we couldn't go over the snow because I would hurt myself and get myself in more danger were I to stay on the trail.
Is there another one? There's one that I heard that it really peeks out for what I hear a lot in the backcountry. Just wondering if you
You want to continue on to the trail?
Looks like a trail to me.
Oh yes, that one.
What you said is, this is my only opportunity to get in a hike.
Yeah.
So you just went for one that you saw. And a lot of the times, yeah, people don't have the time to go do another one, so they're stuck in the one that they did. If they get turned around, they're going to be super angry about it. But the way that you approached it, great. Group, how did we approach it? What were some of the techniques that Moen utilized?
Very friendly and making a connection.
It was hard for me to even come up back with like retorts. I'm like, I don't know what to say. You're too nice right now.
You're like,
Mo was super understanding too, not like fully leveling, understanding like, okay, I can see why you guys came on this trail. I understand that you guys want to get a hike in and stuff, but being like coming through and saying something about safety as well and how that's like a priority in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
what was the primary concern when you approached this group?
For me as a park ranger, resource damage and safety. Something that I just thought of that maybe we could have addressed is like, we're in a very remote location, so if something were to go wrong, you are 2 hours, 3 hours from help, which is not something that I think has been brought up. So also thinking about, you know, like, you feel really empowered when you're out on a hike and you're doing the thing and you're in the element, and it's easy to kind of like silo into that mission-oriented mindset, but taking into account that we are in a very remote location and you know.
But I'm not going to get hurt.
You might not get hurt, but someone else in your group
that's the
might.
philosophy.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
thinking. Is it won't
never
happen
me.
to me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It'll happen to him, or it'll happen to her, but it
Mhm.
won't happen to me.
And for people who have received medical training, correct me if I'm wrong on this, like our training as a woofer or higher, which I assume, enacts we can legally start taking care of people 1 hour away from advanced medical care. Which, is that a hospital, or is that advanced medical care is included with a ambulance?
So it would depend on the type of patient. For us, Sarah and I, we're both EMT basics, so we're able to kind of provide that care in the backcountry. It would entirely depend on the kind of injury, that sort of thing, whether it's like an ALS call or something like that.
I'm a blossoming instructor for solo, and our definition is 1 hour away from definitive medical care, which is a full service emergency room hospital. So if it takes a half hour for the ambulance to drive to you and a half hour to get back, you are definitely in a wilderness situation in that context. And how many people does it take to drag out a few, or even like help someone limp out a quarter mile of the trail? It takes a long time.
It takes like 4 people.
Yeah.
So that's knowledge that most people don't have.
Right.
So being able to explain that in like a really easy, like we're really far away from like getting you care. Like you slip and fall and break something, it's gonna take hours to get you out. The other thing, you approached us as a ranger, and the first thing you said was, "I'm concerned about resource degradation." Did you ask them to come back on the trail at any point?
I didn't.
Just pointing it out.
I made a point of wandering further away.
I did see that. You were like, yeah, and like, I mean, in these kind of situations, when people don't have the right gear, it is cold outside, and we are contacting them, just like I'm doing right now, and you're standing in the shade. I'm an interpreter. I know how to fire hose information out of people, and they just stand there, and they get cold, and they get grumpy, and we try to limit what we're saying to like really concise, clear messages to get them back on the trail, to stay warm, especially in winter conditions.
And safety is such a basic need. It's hard to get through at that level.
Yeah, as we said earlier, the primary concern in a national park situation is protection of the resource, with the caveat that protection of the individual's safety goes before that. But we want people off flowers before we want to make sure their needs are met.
If you're noticing that there's a lot of overlap between human safety and leave no trace, you are totally right. There's really a lot of overlap between these things. So capturing both is totally valid. and having both of those as tools you can talk about is totally valid.
I feel like, sorry. I feel like in that situation too, it would have been one of the instances where I'm like, if you're super worried, like I'll hike out with you as far as safety goes. Like,
Yeah.
I can see you're in an unsafe situation, but like in order to help stay on the trail and protect the resource, I'll hike out with you on the way out.
Let's go, Nana.
Let's go.
Link
Get
arms.
over.
I've given people my poles before.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to go make contact with this group, but if you need a pole, take mine, leave them at the trailhead.
Give microspecs out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy to do that. The one thing I will caution is, especially when combining like leave no trace knowledge, which is ethics that you can't certify, versus like wilderness first responder or other medical training that you do get trained and certified in. Don't speak or teach above your training station because you don't want to put yourself into a liable situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what works best is just to explain the risks and let them decide.
Yeah.
From there, I mean, let them hear all that information, and a lot of times people will hear all that and then they make the decision for you. You don't have to actually tell them. I found anyway. You explain all the risks up front.
I always put up how many points I have left to say. I noticed in your language you said, they're like, is it dangerous? You said, yes, snow is dangerous. And I was like, huh. I wonder if I would say that. I'd be like, it could be. Could be ice, could be snow. And then they said, is there snow further up the trail? And you're like, maybe. And I was like, that's an interesting juxtaposition of like, yes it is, maybe. Mm-hmm. So just be aware of what language you're using when you're talking to visitors. Because consistency, but you know, they look at us both in our uniforms and, you know, especially in uniforms, as the authority of the resource. So what we say has a much, much higher weight than if Joe Schmo Kevin came over and was like, what's up everybody? Like me right now, I'm using my professional teaching voice and then I go, what's up everybody? And you're like, clearly he's making a joke. Cool. I think we can switch over to group 3.
Let's do the last group. Thank you again to both the groups who just went. And then we will have the last group of responders.
Okay. Okay.
Go for it.
We are on a family trip in a picnic area with our children. And
lovely children.
yes, and guys,
This isn't part of the scheme.
oh
No.
guys, there's some really nice chipmunks over there. We have some trail mix, don't
yeah,
we?
yeah, they must be hungry.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
They're so cute.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Here, let me get a picture. Yeah. Yeah, get a little closer. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, so fun.
Where are you guys coming out from?
The city.
The city, very nice.
I come from my van.
Sweet. So, just one thing first of all, just because I don't want anybody to get hurt. Those little chipmunks there, they can slip at people's fingers. So if you could just take a couple steps back, that would be great. You know?
Oh, but the chipmunks. Maybe a picture with the ranger and the kids and the chipmunks. Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys just take a couple steps back, just for safety reasons, first of all. But how old are they?
4. I 4.
Great, sweet. Well, I'm going to talk to you guys about some junior ranger stuff right now, if you haven't been. Super exciting. So, first of all, I know the chipmunks are super cool. You guys are coming from the city. I love to see people interacting with the park. But first things first, you don't feed wildlife out here just because it's a danger to yourselves and to the wildlife, and it just creates bad habits with that. But hopefully, after I give you guys a little spiel about this, you guys could be like almost kind of junior rangers, which is sweet.
Okay.
It's a super cool badge out
Okay.
Sweet. Does anyone else want to jump in?
Do you have a camera? It would be great if the kids could take some pictures of the chipmunks.
Yes.
Pictures with the chipmunks.
Or either way. Either way.
Okay.
It would be awesome because then they're going to know they saw the chipmunks and they'll be reminded that they should not feed wildlife in the park.
Picture. So one of the cool things that we
four-year-old
like
has
to
an
do
iPhone.
with, as far as keeping a safe distance from chipmunks, can you guys hold your thumbs out? Let's go like this, and if you close one eye, and if you can cover the chipmunk, that means you're far enough away. But if you can see the chipmunk around your finger, it means it's too close. And you guys can practice that with each other too.
Oh, that's a big chipmunk.
That's a really big.
That's a mini bear.
Hey, you have 1 more minute?
Sweet. So, now that
But
you
aren't
guys
the chipmunks hungry? I mean,
We're
we're
all
out here in the middle of nowhere.
Chipmunks are hungry, but this is their home, so they have their own kind of food that they eat around here, and they don't eat human food, just like you guys probably wouldn't like eating chipmunk food.
But nuts are organic.
M&Ms.
Nuts are organic.
Yeah, but most visitors are only here in the summertime, and so in the wintertime, when they need to survive on their own, they've lost the skill and ability to find their own food because they got too used to people feeding them.
It ends up damaging them more in the end than helping them, even though it feels like you're helping them right now.
We definitely don't want to do that.
Right, and scene.
Let's go back to the city.
Alright, wow, snaps for everyone.
Yeah, my 3-year-old is super offended that you. He speaks in full sentences.
I think the acting got better.
Yeah, really, like, we're really putting more of ourselves into it. I love it. So what did we see here? What were some things that you saw that you wanted to address?
Getting close to the wildlife.
What was the other one?
Feeding it.
Getting close to the wildlife, feeding it. Anything else you saw that you knew that you would need to address in this situation?
I feel like that was.
Yeah,
that was it.
That's fair. I'm also thinking about the parents, like, kind of encouraging their children to keep going.
All 4 needed a lesson.
Yes.
I think your bit was great. They were like, "Oh," I was like, "Totally."
What do you want to elaborate on which bit it was?
When the visitors leave in the winter and they can't forage for themselves anymore, I was like, check.
Yep.
Done.
Gold star. Great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, for our family here, what were some things that worked well for you that the responders did that made you?
Dwayne said that it could bite me. Yeah, which I think is a really good point because there have been multiple instances that I've gotten a call that somebody's like, yeah, chipmunk just bit this person. Like, can you come take a look at the bite? And I'm just like, can you, like, oh, so you're feeding the wildlife. Great, thanks for that. But encouraging them and telling them, like, hey, yeah, like, they may be cute and furry and cuddly, that sort of thing, but, like, they'll nip you. Like, they'll bite you, so be careful. Like, don't be doing that.
Anything with a mouth can bite.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought Sarah had friendly authority. She just got everybody's attention in a very friendly way.
Yeah, I thought you were great. I was like, all right, I wouldn't be mad if you came and told me I was doing something bad. Like, I really liked your approach. I thought, like, I learned something, or if I was a visitor, I would have learned something. Also with your bit about really making them think about how the environment is impacted after they're gone.
Yeah.
So I thought you guys did very well.
I like the human food, chipmunk food comparisons too. We don't eat their food, they don't eat our food.
And I like,
good as well.
yeah, I like that Sarah brought up like junior ranger programming and saying like, oh, I see that you're very captivated by this animal. Like, if you want to learn more, there are better ways to do that.
Yep.
Using the Junior Ranger program is utilizing a resource that you have that they might not know about and turning them into an ally.
Yeah.
Great.
Little kid allies.
Yeah, but formative experience, lifelong allies, future rangers.
And how many other tiny children are they going to go and teach them rule to?
Right.
Yeah, because it's just super simple and easy, and it's like, hey, guess what I won in a national park?
Dada, you're too close.
Dada, you're too close, Dada.
Anything else? Anything else that you think would have been helpful in this scenario? Anything that you wish you had also brought up? Anything there?
Maybe chatting with folks about like habituation. So one, that they can't forage for themselves once visitors are gone, but also the fact that like so many animals are like removed from the park or euthanized because they develop these different relationships with people and with food, and they're looking for that like easy snack. I'm always looking for an easy snack, and so
Heard that.
Like actually the only reason why they're coming so close is because too many people have been feeding them, and it's actually something we don't want to do. But like, yes, you're correct. These are oddly friendly chipmunks. Yeah.
I feel like in real life I probably would have like gone into more detail afterwards about other animals that we have in the park too. This is like the least dangerous one that you can get closest to probably. So
As someone with a 3-year-old, my kid's really into monsters and dinosaurs right now. So teaching him the behavior to scare things away. We have a pretty regular raccoon visitor at our garbage can. And he likes to go out and try and scare it away. It has backfired on me. It's also worked really well. When I approach a visitor feeding a thing, sometimes they're like, get out of here, get out of here. And sometimes it works and they're like, oh, it's gone. Or other times like, you scared it away! So use that in your toolbox as necessary.
Zooming back out, I would love for everyone to just think for a moment across all of these scenarios. Like, what were some broader takeaways, things that broadly worked well, or other things that you think, broader things that you think worked well, broader themes across the scenarios, or other things that you see with park goers that didn't come up in these scenarios. So just like think for a moment, and if you have a thought. Yeah.
Being direct, but also being gentle with what you're saying. Nobody responds well if somebody's being a jerk, but you also don't want to like sugarcoat it too much. Like, you want to be direct with like why you're making that contact, what's going on, but also like being gentle and just being friendly about it, and then kind of following it up with some positive of like, thank you for your cooperation, thank you for XYZ changed behavior. That sort of thing is really important, I think.
I think each group did it, but I think one of the things that like Matt and I learned in our training is the first thing coming out of your mouth should not be the thing you're trying to get across to people most of the time. I've done that one time and it did not go well, and it almost never ever goes well if you just come out and the first thing you say is you can't do that, and people will do it out of spite after that usually, and you don't want to create like a negative image of the Park Service in their head, because then that gets worse for each person afterwards that they have to talk to.
I am very much oppositionally defiant.
You're teaching that to your 3-year-old, right?
It's ingrained in him too.
What else?
Providing alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
Get people to do what you want them to do, or to have another hike. They can see a pathway that they can not be wrong in this instance, and they can be right in that instance. That gives them a way to choose.
Yeah. Doing more than just telling somebody that they're doing something wrong. Like in regards to like going on a trail or something, they're like, you're telling them like, hey, like you're off trail or it's snowy and you're in Tevas or Crocs or something, and they're like, okay, well, like now what? Like the ranger dude told me to get off the grass or XYZ, whatever. Like, give them an alternative, and that way they'll be more receptive to whatever it is you have to say.
But caring about their enjoyment.
Yeah.
When you can, situation may not.
Yeah.
I also think just emphasizing that some decisions in the national park could be life-threatening either to them, other visitors, or wildlife, and understanding that they have undesired consequences for actions.
Yeah, things that they might not even know Wonderful. We tell you everything we know. Also, there's so much more to know. So a couple of things, you know, as you go into the rest of your days and seasons and multiple seasons, just like pick out where these principles show up. You'll start to see where they show up in more and more places, and think about what park behaviors we didn't address today, what sorts of situations and types of park goers and everything, how we might like lace in some more of that nuance into these scenarios and how we address them. Another thing is, I continue to be here for all of you. I have an email address. It's waadvocate@lnt.org. I can write that somewhere. So you're welcome to email me at any time. If you want more resources, I'm always happy to send you more resources. There's a lot of Leave No Trace teaching resources that are just there out on the internet, buried in the website, buried in my State Advocate Google Drive somewhere that I'm happy to dig up for you. And if one doesn't exist, I'm here to offer ideas and work with you on whatever you need. So, so this is just meant to be a launch pad for you all and an opportunity to get more familiar, think more deeply about these principles, and then do some practice in context. And it's certainly not, you know, the full scope and the final thing you get to do with them. So that's my closing thought here. What do you have?
There's 2 additional tiers. This is considered technically an awareness workshop. There are also trainer courses, which is a 2-day event. The ones
3 days if you're virtual. Okay.
Yep. The in-person ones that I've run are typically a 2-day, 1-night overnight trip, and you get lots of hands-on time with material. And then there's a Master Educator course, which I think the one I ran was 5 days, and that's a whole bunch. All knowledge that is available is really good. Again, check in with Hannah for more resources, or just like questions that popped into your head after we depart today. The Leave No Trace website, lnt.org, super easy to find, and remember, tons of resources available beyond just Hannah and myself. Yeah, you guys are great.
Yeah.
It was a real pleasure teaching all of you.
Yeah,
and learning from
all of you. Yay.
Likewise, thanks for your guys' time.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and doing this for us.
Any